Is there certain noises that aggravate them, like pitches or?
They like high pitches, actually.
Growing pitches?
Huh? Yeah, happy tones. I mean, I really don't think that it's ever really necessary to raise your voice to a dog. I think if anything, that's going to, just totally erase what it is you're trying to do. Now, what I will do, if I mean something, I may just say, sit. Okay, but I say it like that, sit. Okay, find it. There. So I just redirect the barking through the find it. Find it. Woo-hoo. Find it. Good girl. Find it. Good girl. Find it.
Do you protect us from the cat people?
Find it.
Karen, I have one quick question.
Uh-huh.
My question is all for this behavior, but we do have quite a few back in healthy holds that have issues with barrier issues, like if they're going at the door, they freeze at the doorways, whether it's a kennel doorway or going in and out of the door. I mean, right at the doorway, not like they're outside and I don't want to go back in the building, but right at the doorway. What's the best way to handle that? Because a lot of times you don't want to drag them through.
You don't want to drag them through.
Or locked up.
Right.
How to make that positive, because you really don't have a redirect direction, because you gotta get through a doorway or a barrier.
Right. Well, there's a couple things. Sometimes what humans tend to do when a dog stops in a barrier is they actually get in front of them and then do this, come on, come on, come on. Which, when you do that, your body says, don't come into my space.
Try to keep behind them, but sometimes that doesn't work.
Right. Sometimes the best way to do is just get beside them. And, sometimes too, thank you, standing in that doorway for a couple of seconds and giving them some treats. Standing in the doorway.
If they'll take them.
If they'll take them. Yeah. If they won't take them, then you're
using the wrong treats.
Yeah, you're probably using the wrong treats. Yep.
Some of them don't know what treats are because they never had them.
Right.
Like some of our dogs that were hunting dogs.
Right, and they won't
They
take them
don't know
from your
what it
hand.
is.
I know. And I have found with hunting dogs, a lot of times when they won't take them from the hand, they will do a find it. They've never been hand fed and they just don't think they can touch
Haven't
them.
been on a leash at all.
Or
They haven't been on a leash.
anything.
Right, right. And I don't know if any of you noticed when I was laying down here, her first thought was, oh, I'm gonna put my mouth on your hand. And I just totally ignored it when she did it, and then went into kind of scratching around the ears and handling. This is really important to do with them because people, and I will get back to your question, I'm thinking about it. People want dogs that they can cuddle. They want to cuddle, they want to love their dog, they want to hug on their dog. So really doing it, particularly if you have a Malby dog, kind of working on this and thinking it's the chest area that brings on calm feelings, so you rub there, and they usually like this too. What do you think of that? Right? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good spot. And then you move right up there. Oh, that's a good spot too. Yeah. I know. So with her, because her first inclination is, and when I did it, again, I'm just going to see if I can get her. Yeah, see, she just feebly put her mouth on me, and she's like, well, that's not going to do me much good.
Grab the leash.
Grab the leash. Leave it. Good girl. That's very good. Sit. That's good. Touch. Yeah. That's very good. Yeah. Try upping the ante on the treats with those, first of all. Second of all, sitting in the doorway for a couple of minutes and just letting them decompress. And I know it's hard because people are probably coming through. I know. So sometimes all you can do is loop the leash and get them through. And they're going to find, and you get them through and then you stuff like a piece of steak in their mouth. How much fun was that? Because they're like, oh my God, I'm scared. Oh, not so bad. So there are ways to kind of desensitize them to things, and sometimes, particularly in here, you just can't do a lot of what I would say, but we can do the next best thing, which is, I know this is a drag, but let's get you through it, then you can have some steak and it won't go pee and everything will be great. So do the best you can. And don't beat yourselves up either. oh my God, you'll be, how did Karen say do that? How did, you know? And then the dog's gonna go like, this person don't know what they're doing. Okay? So yeah, so even if you don't know what you're doing, don't let the dog know.
Yeah.
You just go in there like,
That's simple enough.
yeah. I mean, there are times, you know, I don't know these dogs. I don't know what I'm gonna do when you bring these dogs out, but I don't let them know that. All right, I'll just play it by ear, you know, because not one single thing works every single time.
They're
So-
individuals.
Yeah.
They're individuals and need to be treated as such.
And the
Absolutely.
other thing we have is there's so many people walking one dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
We don't have consistency, we don't have people that are taking the time to come out today to see Karen, so,
Right.
you know.
Well, you know, I think that's probably, I saw senior volunteer. My thoughts are for dogs that have issues, they should be senior volunteers. Or
Yeah.
people that come here, because you know, with dogs, it's one step forward, two steps back. So if they're doing really well and then somebody comes
Right.
along and they get to do this,
Right.
that behavior is reinforced. So you
Yeah.
have to be really careful
Yeah, that's true.
that the same protocol is followed as closely as possible. Yes, I mean, if there are no senior volunteers, then the dog needs to get out and run around and pee, fine. But, you know, as close as you can, just stick in with people who know what it is they should be doing. Any other questions?
One thing about the hounds that she brought them up, is being so inexperienced with people and
Uh-huh.
stuff. They seem to just bark and bark and bark. And I can't imagine that a potential adoptee finds that
Yeah.
appealing. So is
Right.
there something we can do with that?
Teach the quiet. So you have treats and they're barking and you go, quiet. Okay, so quiet.
And
And-
they don't take that as reinforcing the barking?
No, because and this is what everybody thinks. Eventually you say quiet, they have to be quiet for a few seconds and then they get the treat.
Okay.
But at least you're teaching them what it means. And dogs, they live in the moment. They have about a 1 to 3 second association span between what they did right or what they did wrong, what they got reinforced for, or I don't use consequence. Okay, I use consequence. I don't use corrections because I don't correct dogs, but there might be a consequence. In other words, the dog that's barking, you're barking at me, I'm out of here. Come back, you're quiet, okay, I'm in here. But teaching that quiet, giving a couple of treats. And in my experience with the hounds, once they get out, because we have so many that come for training that get adopted out of here, they don't make a peep, you know, or they'll come, and it's the anxiety they're sensing here,
Yeah.
or that they're feeling, and so really just teaching that quiet command.
Well, I think some of them too have been trained enough that they know it's not good to go in their cage. And so they're barking to let you know, I really need to go because I don't want to go in my cage.
That's very true, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and-
barking usually stems from something. You know, in here, unfortunately, it turns into self-stimulating because there's
Yeah.
not a lot to do. But initially, I guess you can chew that bunny's nose off if you mind. Just don't swallow that. Just don't swallow it. There we go. Yeah, you're a smart girl. Yeah, so really teaching quiet. Also,
The person in here who walked the dog that had the rope coming out of its rear end this morning.
Yeah.
a dog from here, they ate
Yeah.
the rope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a huge fan of toys in, why don't you spit that out? Thank you. Okay, now that's a really important thing for everybody to learn. She had an eyeball in her mouth. Was I gonna try to take it? No.
Yeah.
Leave it. So I did the find it and then
Find it
she
works
spat
for
it out.
everything.
It does work for everything.
Magical.
It is, you know, I know, it was so much fun. How about if you play with this? It won't be nearly as much fun.
Maybe, for a minute.